Long before Tesla dreamed of harnessing electricity, long before modern philosophers debated the meaning of existence, there was Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom, the scribe of the gods, the keeper of secrets. He was no ordinary deity in the pantheon. He was a symbol of absolute knowledge. While human sciences change with time, Newton gives way to Einstein, theories are built and then broken, Thoth's knowledge remains untouched. His wisdom is not relative, not dependent on culture or context. It is absolute truth, always valid, always applicable, whether in the desert sands of ancient Egypt or in the laboratories of today. The ancient Egyptians believed Thoth authored the Emerald Tablets, mystical writings that hold the key to eternal laws. Later, in Greece, he reappeared as Hermes Trismegistus, Hermes the Thrice Great, a figure so wise, so complete, that he was said to embody philosophy, science, and spirituality in one breath. And in his name, Hermetic philosophy was born. Absolute versus relative knowledge. To understand why Thoth's wisdom matters, we must first grasp the difference between relative and absolute knowledge. Relative knowledge is conditional. It shifts with time, language, and perspective. Today's science may describe reality one way, tomorrow's science may update it. Philosophy is debated endlessly. Psychology rewrites its own theories every generation. This is the world of relativity, useful, but unstable. Absolute knowledge is different. It is not bound by time. It is not rewritten with every generation. It is truth that underlies all other truths. When the Hermetic texts declare, "As above, so below," they are not offering a theory. They are stating a law, one that applies in the cosmos, in nature, and in the human heart equally. Thoth's teachings are absolute. They are the skeleton key that unlocks all sciences. They explain why physics and spirituality are not opposites but reflections. They show why consciousness shapes reality, why energy cannot be destroyed, why cycles repeat in history and in the stars. The mind of Thoth. Thoth was more than a god in myth. He was the archetype of divine intelligence. Egyptians saw him as the measurer of time, the keeper of balance, the inventor of writing, and the one who gave humans the ability to think. He was present at the judgment of souls, recording their deeds. He was the mediator between chaos and order. When we speak of Thoth, we are not speaking of a man or a myth alone. We are speaking of the absolute mind of the universe expressed through a symbol. This is why his knowledge is eternal, because it is not his personal philosophy, but the laws of creation themselves. Later, when his wisdom travelled into Greece, he became Hermes. Hermes Trismegistus was said to have written thousands of books covering medicine, alchemy, astronomy, and philosophy. And while many of these works are lost, their essence lives in one small but mighty book, the Kybalion. Before we dive into the 7 Hermetic Principles, we must first understand their origin. They are not rules invented by men. They are not cultural artifacts. They are eternal laws, the blueprint of reality. In this series, we will explore each principle: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. But first, we honour the source. Thoth, the eternal teacher, who gave humanity the absolute truths that outlive empires, religions, and sciences. So as you listen, remember, this is not history. This is not mythology. This is absolute truth, speaking across time. Thoth's words are as true in your life today as they were in the temples of Egypt or the schools of Greece. And if you choose to listen deeply, to not just hear but apply these principles, you too will discover what Hermes promised, that man and the universe are one, and that the laws that govern the cosmos also govern your mind, your spirit, and your destiny. The legend says that Thoth inscribed his teachings onto emerald tablets, indestructible, eternal records of truth. These weren't ordinary writings. They weren't bound by the frailty of papyrus or parchment. They were designed to last beyond civilizations, so that when temples crumbled and empires fell, the truth would remain. What do these tablets teach? They remind us that life is infinite, that matter and spirit are not separate, and that humanity holds within itself the same divine spark that powers the stars. They show that death is not an end, but a transformation, that energy never ceases, only changes form. The tablets present knowledge as law, unbreakable, eternal, absolute. This is what makes Thoth's wisdom different from human philosophy. It is not opinion, it is the rhythm of existence itself, written in stone and in spirit. The reincarnation of wisdom. When Egyptian culture blended into Greek, Thoth was reborn as Hermes Trismegistus, Hermes the Thrice Great. Why thrice? Because his wisdom was complete in philosophy, science, and spirituality, the three great pillars of truth. Hermes was said to have written thousands of works, from medicine and astronomy to alchemy and metaphysics. Though most of these writings were lost to time, fragments remain, and it is from these fragments that the Hermetic tradition emerged, the same wisdom that later inspired alchemists, mystics, and even scientists like Newton and Tesla. In Hermes, we see the continuity of Thoth, a figure who bridges myth and science, spirit and matter, mystery and logic. Hermes teaches that truth is not locked in temples or books, but woven into the universe itself, waiting to be recognized. The absolute knowledge in practice. What makes Hermetic wisdom extraordinary is its universality. Unlike relative sciences, Hermetic principles apply everywhere. Whether you study physics, psychology, or meditation, these laws are always true. Take the principle of vibration. Modern science now confirms that everything vibrates, from atoms to galaxies, from thought to matter. Or the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. Modern physics shows us fractals, repeating patterns from the smallest cell to the largest star. What Hermetic teachings declared thousands of years ago, science is only now rediscovering. This is the power of absolute knowledge. It does not age, it does not expire, it does not contradict. It is as true today as it was in the temples of Egypt. This is why we begin here, with Thoth, with Hermes, with the Emerald Tablets. Because without this context, the 7 Hermetic principles might appear as philosophy. But once you see their origin, you realize they are not ideas. They're laws of reality itself. In the coming videos, we will dive into each principle: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. But know this, these are not just theories to contemplate. They are forces shaping your life right now. Whether you believe in them or not, they operate in silence, just as gravity pulls whether you notice it or not. Thoth's wisdom is not distant mythology. It is living truth, etched not only on emerald tablets but within your own spirit. The same laws that govern the stars also govern your mind, your relationships, your growth. And if you learn to recognize them, to align with them, to live in harmony with them, then you hold the master key. You step out of ignorance into knowledge, out of relativity into absoluteness. This is the gift of Thoth. This is the promise of Hermes, and this is the path that the Kybalion preserves for all seekers of truth.